As an immigrant to this country, I would like to say a few words to my fellow Americans. President Trump sought to overturn the results of an election, and of a fair election. President Trump is a failed leader. He will go down in history as the worst president ever. The good thing is that he soon will be as irrelevant as an old tweet. I'm very aware of Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass. It was a night of rampage against the Jews carried out in 1938 by the Nazi equivalent of the Proud Boys.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, speaking as an immigrant on his YouTube channel, recalled Kristallnacht to warn of extremism's return, and he left a haunting question. Could America's future really be shaped by a president as fleeting as an old tweet? All content comes from verified footage and public reporting. In this episode, we'll walk through the details step by step.
I have a great idea. Why don't we switch jobs? You take over TV because you're such an expert in ratings, and I take over your job. And then people can finally sleep comfortably again.
And they hired a big movie star, Arnold Schwarzenegger, to take my place. And we know how that turned out. The ratings went right down the tubes. It's been a total disaster.
So being from Europe, I've seen firsthand how things can spin out of control. I know there is a fear in this country and all over the world that something like this could happen right here.
Shared widely on Twitter, these clips moved quickly beyond playful barbs, showing Arnold's warning about fear and instability. What began as a quip spread into a broader conversation on leadership. Honestly, if you agree with Arnold, give this video a like. And if you want more moments like this, don't forget to subscribe.
No, look, when you belong to that club, you've been a governor, you know how difficult the issues are, how complicated everything is. I think the most important thing is that, people work together. Doesn't matter who it is. I always stress that the Democrats and Republicans work together, because what's going on now is politicians always try to divide us, and that's not healthy.
At the FUBAR Season 2 premiere with ET's Kevin Frazier, Arnold underscored the need for unity, noting how division erodes stability. In today's climate, what does bipartisan cooperation truly mean?
We are in a feud with Donald Trump right now. Do you know this?
No, I don't.
Because it's very exciting.
Oh,
for
really?
me, because he doesn't like me either, and so anytime there's somebody new he doesn't like, I feel a fraternity, a brotherhood with this.
Okay, so we're having beef?
You're having beef because I guess you said in an interview that you were a better golfer than him, and then you told a story, is this true, that he signed you up for one of your golf clubs and didn't tell you?
Yeah.
So you had to pay, like...
No, I didn't pay. Okay. I got a bill.
On Late Night with Seth Meyers, Samuel L. Jackson's golf story started as pure comedy until a certain name slipped in. What began as a casual swing turned into a headline-making jab, with laughter echoing louder than the punchline itself.
I actually have his tweet right here. Tweet. This is very exciting. So there you go. It says, I don't know Samuel L. Jackson to best of my knowledge, haven't played golf with him, and think he does too many TV commercials. Boring, not a fan.
Not a bad thing.
Now, it's very interesting when Donald Trump says someone is out on TV too much, because, he's with exposure, he thinks it's very careful to just barely be on TV at all.
Barely get yourself out there.
But is that true? You say, you claim right here you have met him.
Yeah, I met him a lot.
You've played golf with him.
I played golf with him.
He claims...
I actually played golf with him with Anthony Anderson.
How often does a tweet outlive its moment? On Late Night with Seth Meyers, Trump's denial of knowing Samuel L. Jackson was replayed, contrasted by memories of shared golf games. Keep watching what comes next, takes it up a notch.
What did you think of that MFer Donald Trump tweeting that you're a boring actor who does too many TV commercials?
Oh my God, did he tweet that?
Yeah, he did.
What was your reaction to that?
I look at my bank account, I laugh.
When Trump's tweet about Samuel L. Jackson resurfaced, the exchange gained new relevance. But beyond the jab, isn't the real story how actors spin critique into humor?
The morning of September 11, 2001, when Donald Trump went on TV and claimed he had the new tallest building in downtown Manhattan. It's also the 7th anniversary of the day he tweeted this. I would like to extend my best wishes to all, even the haters and losers on this special day, September 11th. You gotta hand it to him. He always knows the wrong.
On September 11th, past comments and tweets from Trump resurface, drawing attention again. Clips like this are now part of how the day is remembered publicly. Soon after, attention turned to unity and reform. Observers noted the GOP's resistance on key issues, framing the debate over whether broad-based leadership can still win support.
And that includes you, President Trump. In fact, as president of this great country, you have a moral responsibility to send an unequivocal message that you won't stand for hate and racism. Now let me help you write your speech here a little bit. As President of the United States and as a Republican, I reject the support of white supremacists. The country that defeated Hitler's armies is no place for Nazi flags. The party of Lincoln won't stand with those who carry the battle flag of the failed Confederacy. Was that difficult? You see, I told you.
Schwarzenegger urged party leaders to reject hate symbols outright. But when such calls echo from within, will the message truly reach those in power?
Every time you talk about America, you're right when you say that our leadership in Washington is a little bit backwards. But you're wrong when you say that America dropped out of the Paris Agreement. Yes, we have a Meshuggah leader in Washington that is not in, that is out. But remember that America is more than just Washington or one leader.
Just like this, Schwarzenegger stressed that America cannot be reduced to one leader or one policy choice, underscoring the broader resilience that extends beyond Washington politics.
The Donald's been tweeting a lot about the Arnold, and Schwarzenegger responded Tuesday while on SiriusXM's The Michael Smerconish program. "I think he's in love with me," the former California governor said, adding the fact that he's had a long relationship with the president. After Schwarzenegger...
On SiriusXM, Schwarzenegger's reply to Trump's Twitter jabs showed how quickly online spats spill into wider political conversation.
I just get very frustrated because we send those politicians to Washington to solve the problems, and all they are is instead of public servants, they're party servants. And I think this is really the bad thing about it. It's all bogus because I think that we can do better than that. Democrats and Republicans, and you know, when I talk about Democrats and Republicans, even though I'm a Republican, I tell you, it is sometimes disappointing.
Frustration over partisan gridlock took center stage in Arnold's remarks, underscoring how calls for genuine problem-solving in Washington continue to resonate. Can leadership rise above party lines to meet public needs?
So do you think it is possible that he weighs 215 pounds?
Yeah, as much as it's possible that there is no climate change. and as much as it's possible that we don't need to really reduce pollution.
On Jimmy Kimmel Live, humor blended with policy talk as Arnold used exaggeration to highlight how denial can overshadow facts. When showbiz lines blur with civic debates, what does that reveal?
He listed his weight at 215 pounds. You are one of the foremost experts on the male physique, bodybuilding, etc. When you size him up, what would you guess that man weighs?
You know, I don't really know how much he weighs. I can tell you one thing, that if you would ask me what should you do for fitness, I would just say run around yourself 3 times. You're going to be in great shape. You know?
Arnold's lighthearted reply on Jimmy Kimmel Live turned a serious claim into a fitness joke, reminding viewers how humor often undercuts political posturing.
I think even just when you look at the symbols of the party, think about that. I mean, the Democrats, donkey, Republicans, elephant. And the donkey's a jackass. And of course, wherever the big animal goes, leaves a pile of dump.
Arnold's colorful comparison at the Washington Forum framed party politics through animal symbols, turning critique into metaphor. But beneath the humor lies a question. When politics becomes a circus, who's really cleaning up the mess?
Mr. Speaker, the American tariffs, the new tariffs on steel and aluminum, are unlawful, unjustified, and illogical. I agree with the member. And that is why, one of the reasons why we have retaliatory tariffs on over $90 billion worth of U.S. goods. We are in intensive negotiations with the Americans and in parallel preparing reprisals if those negotiations do not succeed.
The report in Canada's House of Commons highlighted, tariff walls are fueling trade tensions. Could the steel boss have foreseen this counterstrike? Stick around, more twists are coming.
Mr. President, have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. Gay, lesbian, and transgender children, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens whose interests are furthered by a polarized America. Contempt fuels political campaigns and social media, and many profit from that. But it's a worrisome, it's a dangerous way to lead a country. I'm a person of faith, surrounded by people of faith. And with God's help, I believe that unity in this country is possible. Not perfectly, for we are imperfect people and an imperfect union.
From pleas to protect vulnerable communities to reminders of faith and unity, the message in Congress underscored both urgency and hope for a divided nation.
With members of Congress, and some of them spoke about what the president said. This wasn't exactly anonymous sources.
Thank you.
Melania Trump, an immigrant herself, also caught up in the middle of another immigration flashpoint. And this time, it's a family affair. Her husband's opposition to so-called chain migration.
A guy comes in, and then you have to bring his aunt, his uncle, his father, his grandfather, his grandparents.
In Congress, immigration tensions flared again. So what does it mean when Melania's own path echoes the debate over family migration?
And we've seen how things have been going between him and Melania lately. So when Trump reached out, I know that he had to be disappointed that the Pope wouldn't hold his hand either. Poor guy, he just wants to be loved. He just wants to be touched, that's all.
From late-night jokes about Trump's strained gestures with Melania, the spotlight quickly shifts. Beyond the humor, voices like Arnold's remind that global eyes are watching America's direction with deep concern.
From all over the world have been calling me distraught and worried about us as a nation. One woman was in tears about America. Wonderful tears of idealism about what America should be. Those tears should remind us of what America means to the world. Now, I've told everyone who has called that as heartbreaking as all of this is, America will come back from these dark days.
Arnold highlighted the global concern for America's direction, sharing stories of overseas calls and emotional reactions that underline how closely the world is watching these uncertain times. From fiery accusations to sharp satire, Arnold Schwarzenegger positioned himself as both critic and contrast warning against extremism, mocking performative politics, and underscoring the weight of real leadership. His reminders of history's dangers and calls for bipartisan cooperation painted a broader picture. America's challenges are not about one man, but about the choices citizens and leaders make together. Beyond party symbols, tweets, or viral soundbites, his words circle back to a larger truth. Power without responsibility collapses. In the end, Schwarzenegger's message is less about rivalry and more about resilience. Politics may divide, but his closing note insists on accountability, unity, and a return to leadership grounded in action, not spectacle. This video highlights publicly documented exchanges featuring Arnold Schwarzenegger, Samuel L. Jackson, and Donald Trump, along with commentary on Melania Trump that has been reported by established media outlets. All material referenced comes from verified public statements, satire, or broadcast clips already available in the public domain. We do not endorse or encourage personal attacks, nor do we speculate on private matters. The purpose of this content is commentary, media analysis, and public interest, fully aligned with YouTube's community guidelines and fair use standards. If you found this video engaging or insightful, consider subscribing for more. Thank you for watching.